Dirt Rally. Is it worth a buy? Let's read. Dirt Rally captures the essence of what makes rally unique. That sense of trying to remain in control of your emotions as you hurtle along at breakneck speed, aiming to squeeze everything out of your car, whilst knowing that one crash could irreparably harm your stage time as well as your bollocks.
Is that a left rear puncture?
So this is Codemasters' latest attempt at making a rally sim, and to be fair, the ones they've released before this have been pretty meh, to be honest. This, however, is different. It's early access as well. Surprise, surprise, everything's early access. So I wasn't massively optimistic about this, but I picked it up anyway, and I've done just over 4 hours in it. Now, I'm no expert at driving. I did, in real life, do kart racing for 9 years, won a few trophies. One of them's inserted up my rabbit puppet's backside at this moment in time. So I do know how to race. Rallying is something I've never ever done, but I've always had this kind of fascination with it. But I've never really had a rally game where the car has felt right, so it's kind of put me off until I played this. This feels right. This actually feels right. In other words, it's fucking hard and dangerous. That's how you know that it feels right. When I first connected me Thrustmaster 430 wheel and pedal system up, it's a very old wheel and pedal system, it just identified it immediately and just had all the controls set up for us. I tweaked a couple of them, and you can do that. I don't know how good it is with other wheels, but I can tell you now, with my old wheel, it's great. So I would imagine if you've got the T500 or a G27, it's probably going to be great, but I don't know because I don't actually have that. You can also use a Xbox controller or a keyboard, which I'll come to shortly. But sticking to the wheel and pedal system, you can remap all your controls, which I did. The options for the graphics are also pretty decent, you know, it's more than what you get in a lot of games, and I had everything on pretty much max, and it was running like a dream, and I'm only running an i7 with a GTX 770, so that's only the 2 meg one, it's the 2 gig one as well, so not exactly a top of the range PC, but it runs this fabulous 60 frames a second, no problem. I'm also, can I just mention, I don't know how this is going to look. I'm just experimenting with Shadowplay. I've never used Shadowplay before to record the footage, and this is the first one that I've done in 1080p at 60 frames a second, so if it looks shit, sorry, but I'm experimenting with settings and all that. This was me guinea pig. Anyway, back to the game. What you get with this game, you get 3 locations. You get Wales, Monte Carlo and Greece, and each location has 2 or 3 tracks, 3 or 4 tracks, may I say. There's 36 stages in all. There's day, night, overcast, sunny, misty, wet, rainy, snowy, all different types of conditions which do affect, obviously, how your car handles. There are, I think, 18 cars, ranging from the Mini Cooper, the old Mini Cooper of the 1960s, right up to the latest RS cars. There's all sorts, 4-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive. There's the V4 Stratos with the Ferrari engine in it. I've been driving the Cosworths, I've been driving the Stratos, I like the old Escort. I'm just loving it, me. I'm absolutely loving this game. Anyway, as I was going to say, when I first tried to drive, I spent most of my time upside down or running over spectators. It was demoralising, is probably the right word. I actually, after half an hour, switched the game off and thought, what a fucking waste of money this is. You're driving down a road which is just a little bit wider than your car at breakneck speed. If you so much as sneeze, you end up on Jupiter, because you just clip a rock and then it's bye, you're flying. You have got to be so... There's no room for error in this, which is why it's a realistic rally sim, because in real life rally, if you make a fucking mistake, you're in big trouble. It's like having a shave with a samurai sword. One false move and you're fucked. This put me off at first, but then after I sat there and I thought, hang on a minute, it's practice. It's just practice. There's no way that Codemasters would make a game that's just undrivable. So I got it back out and I just stuck at it. I thought, right, I'm going to practice one circuit and I'm going to find a car that I like. So I picked the Lancia and I liked the car. I felt at home with the car, tweaked my controls a bit, and I stuck at one stage for about half an hour, and it started to work. My time started to come down. But then what I did was I stuck the Oculus Rift on, and I pretty much took a minute off my times. It was so much easier with the Rift. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any of the Rift footage. It would look shite anyway. And the Rift footage it's not the best. I mean, the DK2 Oculus Rift's very pixelated, low res. It's not worth buying really, because I mean, it's great, don't get me wrong, I fucking love mine, but the proper Oculus Rift, the consumer version, comes out this year around about Christmas time, so don't bother. But the Oculus makes it easy because you can just look at where you want the car to go. So when any professional driver will tell you that wherever you look, that's where your car goes to. Now, when you're on a flat screen, it's hard to do that, but when you're sitting in the car with the Oculus Rift on, you can actually look at the apex, and you nail them all the time. I found it so much easier, but the problem with the Rift was I couldn't see where the corners were because of the pixelation, and so I crashed too many times, so I just had to give that up and went back to the flat screen with the wheel. But persistence paid off, and I started doing okay. I'm still very amateur at it. I mean, I crash. You'll see lots of crashes in this video because I spent more time crashing than doing it right. But when you do it right, when you hit that corner right, what a feeling it is. It's just amazing when because obviously it's rally, you actually turn the opposite way coming into the bend to flick the back end out so that you can drift around the corners, and it's hard to master. But this game has the ability to do that, and each car handles differently as well, and you can damage your car. I mean, there's a whole career mode with this where you have to have your own team and you buy in your own mechanics, and it's persistent damage through the stages. So if you fuck up on the first stage, smashing your car up and your tyres and your differential and all that, you're pretty fucked for the next few stages. But what you can do in between stages is you've got a time to repair. You have a set amount of time to repair, and you can see what needs repairing and how long it's going to take. The longer you keep your mechanics with your team, the better they get. You can buy new mechanics. So career mode looks real good fun. There's also online leaderboards, there's online daily challenges as well. But what I've been doing at the minute, because I'm not ready for any of that yet, I've just been doing a custom race, selecting the car that I want. All cars are unlocked from the off, so you don't have to worry about all that bullshit about, oh, you've got to do this to unlock that bollocks. You can just play any car from the get-go on a custom race and just practice with it, and it's great fun. I can't stop playing it. It's absolute, but it requires a lot of concentration. It's one of them games where you've got to you're sweating, your hands are hurting. Anybody who's done any kind of amateur kart racing, I'm not talking about these indoor fucking lawnmowers, I'm talking about proper outdoor karting, the 125s, the 70, 80 mile an hour, they'll tell you as you go around, your fucking hands and neck are in agony when you've finished. Well, I felt like that with this, and it's the first time since I packed in karting that I felt like that. Obviously I didn't have the G-force on my neck problems that you have when you do other karting, but I had the thumb thing because I have a force feedback on, which is a little bit iffy at the minute. But the force feedback, I was absolutely wrecked. My fucking thumbs were knacking after the stage because it's a 10-minute stage. You see, each stage is like 10 minutes. There is a pause, but you don't want to pause it. You want to do it all in one sitting because of the concentration levels. And after that stage, my arms were aching, and I'm just a wimpy. Another thing worth mentioning with this is after every race, you get a full replay if you want it from different camera angles. Some of this footage you're looking at now is from the replay cam. Obviously, I don't drive in third-person mode. I would never dream of it. I find that the best way of driving is just on the bonnet view where you can see a bit of the bonnet. With the Rift, in the car was the best way. Without the Rift, bonnet view for sure. A lot of people might want to drive, the console players might want to go in third person, which you can do. You can change your view to anything you want, but the third person view that you're looking at in this is all recorded. I'm actually not driving in third person view, it's a replay. One of the things I like about this game, it's so pure. There's no stupid rock music or anything like that when you're driving along. The pace notes are amazing, and you can also have them coming at you early or later than what they have. There's different settings for the pace notes, but they're so good. They're so easy to understand as well, and it's just amazing. You are rallying when you play this game. It's insane.
Left 6, continues over jump. Caution, left 6, jump, keep mid. Left 6. Into right 5, don't cut, 60. Turn right 2.
So the question you're all wanting to know is it simulator or is it arcadey? I'd say it's in the middle. It's certainly not an arcadey game. You can tweak your car settings. You can go into the garage and you can alter the suspension, the brakes, the gears, the ratios of the gears, so you can get it going faster off the mark or faster top end. You've got all the stuff like that, which makes it a bit of a simulator. It's edging more towards sim than arcade, but I think anybody can play it if you put in the shift and put in the hours. But, this is the but. What do you use to control it? Well, here's some footage of me using a Xbox controller. Honestly, I nearly wiped out all the fucking crowd. I was a maniac. I couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it. Keyboard and mouse, just no. Don't even turn up with that. You need a wheel and pedals to get the most out of this. That's not fair on the Xbox controller because I know it is analog. It should be able to do it, and I guess if you're used to driving games with the controller, you'll probably be fine. Me, I just couldn't do it, but I got a wheel and pedal and I was away, and after about a couple hours I was driving great with it, and I love it. And it's got more to come. It's got a lot of more updates coming. It's great for the early access. It's a reasonable price as well. It's $22.49 if you pick it up before the 4th of May. If you're just a casual, you probably want to give it a miss because it is hard, it's frustrating, and it's going to require a lot of practice before you can start getting up them leaderboards. But there you go, Dirt Rally, worth a buy.